Hello there, everyone. This is Gian Roberts. I'm the author of Retire Younger, this book right here. And I wanted to talk to you today on Facebook and just go over some questions that I've been getting recently. And I just wanted to talk to you directly and just let you know some of my thoughts on them and just kind of discuss it here online. All right. The biggest question I get is how is a cash flow retirement different than the traditional retirement plan that you are used to and most people have gotten involved with. So let's talk about retirement. Retirement is having a passive income that will sustain your needs without having to submit your time into an endeavor to make an income, right? So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about retirement. We're not talking about hitting a certain age, 65 years old, 67 years old, and then collecting retirement. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how can you get to the point where you're generating an income that will sustain your needs that is 100% passive, coming in every month. This is what we call a cash flow retirement. And how do you get to a cash flow retirement? Let's talk about the traditional retirement model to start with. So the average person in the United States makes $44,000 a year. So if they were to take 10% of that and save it towards retirement, that would be around $4,000 to $5,000 a year. Times 10 years, that's $50,000. Times 20 years, that's $100,000 or $80,000 to $100,000, right? So they're then advised to. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving any advice here. I'm just telling you what the traditional model is and how cash flow investment is different. So they take that $50,000 to $80,000 to $100,000 and they invest it in a somewhere where it can get them a return on their money. It will get interest on their money, right? So the average interest rate on a 401k, an IRA, or other type of fund like that is around 6%. Now, it's going to be, so that give you about anywhere between $120,000 to $200,000 saved up for retirement. Now you have to take out, once you hit retirement age, say it's 65 or 67, you then start drawing from that money. So how many years is that going to sustain your lifestyle? I apologize, I'm having trouble breathing at the moment. So how many years is that going to sustain your lifestyle? $200,000 minus your average yearly income of $44,000. You know, that's only a few years that's going to sustain your lifestyle, right? So that model doesn't really work, and it's kind of broken, right? Because if you spend your savings, what's going to happen is that you're going to run out of money eventually. And the average person lives 10 to 20 years in retirement, and with advancements in healthcare and technologies, people are living actually longer. The insurance industry has recently increased their life expectancy tables, right? So they expect people to live to 100, and about 20% of the population will live to the age of 100. So when this system was all set up, in the early years, the average life expectancy was 70 years old. So it has dramatically changed over the years. So how can you preserve your seed capital? How can you preserve that so that you never lose any of that capital, but you can use that capital to get returns on it and to grow a six-figure annual income passively without spending any of your seed capital. Well, you could take that $200,000, let's say, and invest it into an asset, right? And if that asset gave you a 14% or 20% return, that would be, that would be a pretty good return. That would be about $20,000 a year returned back to you, right? $20,000 to $40,000 returned back to you every year if you invested that into an asset. And there's certain types of assets that you want to invest in. But I'm not going to go into that in this video. So the other thing you could do, and when you look at it this way, is that everyone needs to retire, right? Everybody needs that passive income. So if I could show you a way where you could partner with other investors like yourself, right? Other people who want to retire and have saved up for retirement, and you could partner together, and you both had $200,000 in the deal, then you could buy a bigger asset and multiply your money. So that's one situation, right? If you have a consistent income coming in and you can save your 10%, but the average person can't really save their 10%, right? They have to spend it on living expenses, right? So how can you generate more cash flow now to save up for retirement, right? So that means you have to have what we call a side hustle, right? You have to have another source of income on top of what you're getting an income from your regular job or your business or whatever other source of income that you have coming in. So you have to create a side hustle and something that's going to generate big returns with little effort or time on your part, because it's going to be something that you got to do in your spare time, right? So what types of side hustles can you do right now to start generating that extra income? One of these ideas is having a high ticket skill, something that you can sell a high ticket item or get a high return on your time by having this high ticket service. So one of these skills could be copywriting, right? You could do copywriting, which is writing sales copy for websites. You could do direct response or direct mail, right? Where you're sending out postcards for an offer and then they order. So, but that takes a little bit of money up front. You could do online marketing or e-commerce. This is another skill that you could do. And but there's certain types of skill which I really don't have time to go into right now. But I created a webinar, and in this webinar, I'm going to show you in detail how do you create this side hustle, this extra income. And for a limited time, I have free access to this training that I'm going to give you on this webinar. If you want to go to the webinar, you can. It's retireyounger.us/webinar. That's retireyounger.us/webinar. And I'll go into more detail on that side hustle. So I'll just tell you a little bit about what I got for you, and then if you want to go to that webinar and check it out further, you can. But basically, if you can find a list of investments, right, and you can find money partners and combine those or match those two up, right? You got high yield investments and money partners. right? And you can match those two up, and you can be the middleman. Basically, you can make, a commission by using your money partners, right? And you're in the middle, and you split 50-50 with the money partner on the investment. You can make quick cash. We're talking maybe up to $50,000 per deal. And you can easily see if you made $50,000 per deal and you did one deal a month, for the next 2 years, that's $1 million in income coming to you, right? So that's basically what I set up in the system, is a way for you to generate an extra income that's not going to take but 5 hours a week to do, right? 5 hours a week. Call it my 5-hour-a-week plan. And all you do is become a matchmaker. You're taking high yield investments, you're finding money partners, and you're matching them up and splitting the deal 50-50 with the money partner. So there is an opportunity for you to generate that side hustle with as little as 5 hours a week, and literally that's all it takes. If you're working more than that, then you're doing something wrong. So if this interests you at all, again, the website to go to is retireyounger.us/webinar. So what are some of the other things I could talk about, some other questions I have? So do you have to start out with your own money? And a lot of people are behind in their retirement savings. They don't have any saved. They have to spend everything. They live paycheck to paycheck. They have to spend everything that they have. And but everyone needs to retire, right? Everybody needs that income. And a lot of people are saying, well, I'm going to get Social Security. Well, that's not guaranteed. Social Security is not a savings plan. Social Security is a basic government Ponzi scheme, and with the baby boomers retiring right now, start to draw Social Security. There's not enough people on the front end to keep paying into the system so that they can pay out on the back end to all the retirees. So Social Security is not guaranteed, and anyways, the maximum allowance in Social Security is $1,600 a month. That's your maximum. Most people are making less than that, or getting a paycheck less than that. So is that really the lifestyle that you want to live in retirement? Is that $1,600 a month? That's what, $300-400 a week, and it's really not that great of a lifestyle, especially if you consider that you're going to have medical bills and other expenses that you are going to get late in life. That's just the way it rolls. Now, let's talk about retirement, savings retirement. So a lot of people believe that they have to have this big nest egg, right? Millions of dollars saved up so they can draw from it. So in the cash flow real estate system, all you really have to have is a consistent return on your money that pays for a special type of life insurance, right? It's a permanent life insurance called maximum funded life insurance. And now, I'm not giving you advice or anything. You should definitely talk to your advisors. But what I'm saying is that some people, and in my experience, have used this life insurance policy as a retirement plan. So this is a maximum funded life insurance policy. It has a special rider on it that we use a company that writes this policy for you. And basically what you do is you have the investment pay your premium every month. So every month this cash flow is paying for your premium. So you have to have enough saved up, and then invest that seed capital into an investment that's giving you a return every month, right? Paying your premium, so it's enough to pay your premium. So every month your premium is paid, right? So let's say it was $1 million policy. Now you can, after you have this policy for 5 years, you can start drawing on that policy, right? So you have it for 5 years. Your cash flow is paying that premium, and then you can start drawing from that every month or every year, right? And the money that you pull out of that life insurance policy is tax-free income, right? And you can borrow it without ever having to pay that policy back, because upon your death, what happens is that policy balloons. That's a life insurance policy. It balloons into like a $2 million policy, pays off your debt, and then whatever's left over from that ballooning then goes on to your heirs. So your spouse or your children will receive whatever's left over from the loan repayment of that policy. So this is one of the strategies that we use. Another strategy that you could use is using the Roth IRA system. The Roth IRA is a tax-free savings plan. Now you pay your taxes on the seed capital that you put in, but once you put the money in there, you can take your money and then invest that, right? You can take your money and invest that into assets, and then any profits that come back out of the investment go back into the Roth IRA and are tax-free. So you can grow your Roth IRA inside the Roth IRA tax-free, and then you can, at age, I think, 57 and a half, you can start pulling your money out of there as income tax-free. So this is another vehicle that you can use to grow your your retirement savings. And the great thing about it is tax-free income. Now, one of the biggest expenses in retirement is taxes, because most people defer their taxes, right, in these investment plans. So your IRAs, your 401ks, your pension funds are all tax deferred, right? And what happens is when you start pulling that money out as income, then the government gets their share, right? Which could be up to 30% of your money disappears just like that. So you have to take into account the tax burden that you have on your savings account as well. So a lot of this is covered inside my book, Retire Younger. You can go to retireyounger.us and get a copy of my book right here. And also I have a webinar on the same website, retireyounger.us/webinar, where you can get more information, and I'll actually give you a cheat sheet that shows you all these different investment vehicles. We call them engines, right? Investment engines, because they're cash flowing your income. And so I'll give you a cheat sheet that you can download for free. You can get a free copy of my book on my website, and you can get the information in the webinar. Plus, in the webinar, I'm going to show you how you can get that side hustle income, so that you can build this passive cash flow engine that's going to last you basically your lifetime. It's going to give you a lifetime of income. So I got to run right now. Thanks for watching us live here on Facebook, and be sure to tune in tomorrow. I'm going to try to do a live video in the afternoon about every single day for at least the next 30 days, and just to get the information out there and to let people know about this amazing opportunity they have to generate a cash flow retirement income. All right, we'll talk to you soon.